What's up, guys? With the Necromancy skill reveal, I thought it'd be fun to show what my plans are in order to prep for Necromancy as an Ironman. Not only the things on the list that was released last week by Jagex, but also other things that I think will be beneficial in order to train Necromancy. Now, I will say that I am not actually racing to 120 or 200 mil or anything like that, but I do want to try to get the skill up as fast as possible so I can do as much content as possible with the new combat style. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. As I said a little while ago, last week Jagex released this list to show the items that are needed in order to train Necromancy. Now, I don't think these are the only items that will be beneficial for Necromancy, but these are going to be the items that are used in the skill. Now, the reason I say there's going to be other items necessary is if you look, the list includes overload potions and says there's going to be an extreme Necromancy potion, but does not have any herbs or secondaries for the Necromancy potion. So either A, other herbs are going to be used, or B, we're getting stuff from Necromancy to make that potion. So I thought I would include items that I think will be beneficial in order to train Necromancy and things like that. But we're going to go down the list first. I'm going to talk about what I have and how I would get it if I needed it, or talk about my plan for getting these items if I do need it. First on the list is Pure Essence. From what we know, the Pure Essence is going to be used to create the new kinds of essence that we need in order to make the new runes that we will use for Necromancy. Now, personally, if you look, I have a stack of 134,000 Pure Essence, so I'm not assuming that I'll need any Pure Essence anytime soon. However, if I did need them, there's two ways that I could probably go about doing this. Right now, we do have the Golden Cape event, and every swing of a pickaxe gives you 5 total Pure Essence. When you finish your Golden Cape, there's 28 days of infinite porters. I would just probably AFK at the Pure Essence mine, or just go ahead and kill Abbey demons. But again, I have 134k, don't really need them right now. Next on the list is Overload Potions. Now, if you look, it does have a little caveat with this saying pre-made overloads will include the Necromancy boost. However, the ones made after the update will require extreme Necromancy potions. Now, I'm at a little debate with myself on what I want to do with this, because I currently have the supplies to make 1,500 Elder Salves, and I use salves everywhere. However, that includes with the Herblore Cape buff. Now, there is a little bit of a debate going on of how the Herblore Cape will work after this update, because in its current state, you can use ingredients for 4 potions and make 5 potions out of it for both overloads and supreme overloads. However, when making supreme overloads, you only have enough inventory space for 4 items. So if you need a extreme Necromancy potion, how is this going to function with the cape? So there's a little bit of a debate going on whether or not the Herblore will be used, will be changed from 3 to 4, or how they're going to manage to allow the Herblore Cape to work with Necromancy potions and everything. So what I'm thinking I'm probably going to do is finish making my 1,500 Elder Salves and not use any of my other supplies. And once I run out of those, then I'll use it afterwards. Because if it does drop from 3 to 4, or from 4 to 5 to 3 to 4, that's about a 25% increase in output for less ingredients. So it's technically would be more efficient to wait if that's what happens. But frankly, we don't actually know what's going to be happening. Next on the list is Varying Bones, going from regular bones all the way to Reinforced Dragon Bones. Now, this is my current bone stack. If you look and add all these numbers together, I have just north of 25,000 total bones. Now, I don't think bones are going to be so mandatory on this. The reason I say that is because from videos that I've seen, bones are only used in the rituals. Now, the rituals, you use about 1 bone every 30 seconds or 120 bones an hour. I have enough bones where it doesn't really matter. With that being said, the higher the tier of the bone, the more potent the ritual is going to be. Now, rituals are going to be the skilling way to train Necromancy. With all of that being said, I'm probably just going to use the higher tier bones if I need to use them. If I needed any other bones, I'd probably just go to Carapac and try to mass collect those bones specifically, or do ED3 runs and try to get Reinforced Dragon Bones from Terraket. We're going to jump around a little bit on the list from here. Next on the list that we're going to go over is the Spectral Spirit Shield and the Draconic Visage. Now, in my own personal opinion, this is not a guarantee, but this is just what I think is going to happen, is both of these items are just going to be used to make the variants of the different shields that we already have just for Necromancy. So the Spectral Spirit shield will be like the Arcane is for magic, except it's just going to make sure you don't lose accuracy bonus for Necromancy. The same thing I think is going to happen with the Draconic Visage to make a Dragonfire shield aligned with Necromancy. Again, this is not a guarantee. I am not 100% certain that this is how it's going to work, but it's just my theory. And the reason I wanted to especially caveat this is because they said that there won't be really shields used for Necromancy. In my opinion, though, it's just going to be a consistency kind of a thing, that this is going to be the only 2 shields really used for Necromancy, and this is how they're going to be used. So, since I have 4 Draconic Visages, I'm not really going to be needing that, but if you did, I would go to QBD. Spectral Spirit Shield, obviously there's only one place you can get that, and that is from Corp. So if I get all the other stuff that I really want for Necromancy prior to Necromancy's being released, I may go for that from Corp as well. The next thing on the list that I want to go over is the player-owned farm sheep wool. There's 4 kinds of sheep wool that you get. They are the Winter World, the Summer Down, the Fall Faced, and the Spring Sheared. Now I have all of the wool except for the Summer Down wool, but they're really easy to get. If you need sheep wool, all you have to do is go to Granny Potterington, look at the animals, buy a pair of sheep to breed, and throw them in your medium pen, and you can go to the seasonalizer and decide which version of the wool you actually need, and all the sheep that you breed will turn into that style, so you can go grab that wool. Now, I don't think we're going to need too much wool, and I'll explain why I say that in just a moment when I finish up the rest of these items here. Next thing on the list I want to touch is the metal bars. It's saying we need them from bronze up to Bane. This is my current metal bag storage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably get 100 of each of the bars. Again, I don't think we're going to need too many, as I said, with the wool, and I'll explain why in a moment. But what I'm going to do is once I get my golden cape, I'm going to use that porter buff to try to get up to about 100 of each and every one of these bars. Some of these already have 100, still need some supplies for others, but going to try to get up to 100. The next thing on the list that I want to touch on is the Blue Mystic set, the Spider Silk set, Subjugation set, and the Amalgam Thread. Now, I did personally grab 3 of the Blue Mystic chest, helm, and legs because chest, helm, and legs were all that were listed, 3 of the Spider Silk, and I want to grab 3 of the Subjugation. Now, the reason that I'm going with 3 is because they did say we're going to be building up our armor from the top down. So every time we need a new armor set, we're going to use stuff to upgrade our previous armor set. Now, with that being said, they did say eventually it's also going to branch off into tank and power armor. So the reason I went with 3 is because I want to make a set for bossing that can be augmented, a set for Slayer that can be augmented for the power, and I also want to make a tank set. The reason I want to make a tank set is, again, it did hint that this version of this combat skill, will be used to help try to teach people the ins and outs of PVM a little bit. So to me, that kind of says they're trying to raise the skill floor. Now, with that being said, that kind of tells me that there might be something similar to Animate Dead, where wearing tank armor will give you further reduced damage or something along those lines. So I did want to make a tank set as well. Now, this also leads me to the last 2 items that I covered, the bars and the wool. I think the bars and the wool are also going to be used in trying to upgrade our armors, so that's why I don't think we really need way too many of them, since you only need to make it 3 times, right? So that's why I'm settling with 100 of every bar, and we'll see how much wool I get, but I don't think we're going to need too many. And last but not least is the Appraisal Codex, which is going to unlock our tier 99 version of the Necromancy damage boosting prayer. Not much to say on the Appraisal Codex, except just make sure you get one for that. I still have to wear all of my tier 99 prayers though, so I have a whole lot of AOD to do. So that covers the list of items that Jagex had talked about. However, I think there's going to be more things that are going to be beneficial and other things that I will be doing in order to prep for Necromancy. So I want to go over those things as well. First and foremost is Cannonballs, because Cannonballs are consistently used in Slayer to try to train a skill. I don't know, but I think we're probably going to get a Necromancy cannon. Currently, I have a stack of 52k Cannonballs, so you have a couple options of what you can do if you want to go get more. You can either go to Corp, which I need to do anyway to get my Spectral Shield, or I can go to Carapack, which I also need to do for that pet. So there's 2 different big options. Either way would work. And in all honesty, I don't know if I'm really going to go for a cannon because I'm not super race heavy. It'll probably help trying to get aggro and things like that of monsters, but it's not a super high priority since I do have a decent stack right now. They did also state that the Anima Stones would be helping in the creation of these runes, but they did not state whether it be catalytic or elementals. Now, I don't have very many catalytic, but I do have 35k elementals, so I'm kind of hoping it'll be elementals. But again, not a huge concern just because we have so many pure essence and such an easy way of getting pure essence. But if you did want to get more, or if you have some, probably good to use them for necromancy. The next item I'm thinking about is going to be kind of low on priority, and it is that getting some Ushaptis in order to store some low level to medium level Slayer creatures into my player-owned Slayer dungeon. Personally, I'm probably going to be just doing it with Slayer to train the skill. However, again, I think that a lot of these spots are going to be packed because it is a new skill and everyone's going to be at a low level. So it might be worth grabbing some Slayer points and trying to get some monsters into your own player-owned Slayer dungeon to try to be able to slay or fight creatures without having any competition. Although then you do lose a chance to use your cannon. And finally, I want to talk about our perks for our armor sets for Necromancy. As I said, I'm going to be making 3 sets of armor. 1 power for bossing, 1 tank for bossing, and 1 power for Slayer. So for the bossing sets, I'm going to make 2 sets of budget perks, and I'm going to try to slowly upgrade those into the best in slot perks. However, there is one perk that I want to take special note of, and that is invigorating. Now, if you don't know what invigorating does, on our auto attacks, it generates additional adrenaline. Honestly, I have invigorating on all my armor sets, but it's most important for magic right now. However, for necromancy, it's going to be even more important. And the reason I say that is because our basic ability is actually the auto attack for necromancy. So not only will it generate its base 8 adrenaline, invigorating would also add on a whole lot more to that and stack on top of things that we use all the time like Fury of the Small. So I'm going to try to make sure I get enough invigorating for all 3 of those armor sets as well. The last thing on my list is way down on priority, and that is the Anima Core of Sliske armor set. Now, the reason I'm mentioning it and not really talking about going for it super hardcore is because it is something that may be beneficial at low levels of necromancy because it is augmentable. So we should be able to wear this hybrid set, use necromancy, get the DPS bonuses of using an armor that has perks on it until we can use an actual necromancy power armor set during our low levels. Just something to think about. Now, that's about all the prep work that I'm planning on doing in order to get ready for necromancy. With all of that being said, again, this is a lot of unknown, so I don't know if I hit everything or if I'm even right on some of this stuff, but these are just my thoughts and opinions on what my plan is to get ready for it. So, what do you think? Did I miss anything? Be sure to comment below, like and subscribe, and as always, have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time.